Interview number 1. To well understand the goal of this interview, I'm gonna just do a brief resume of what we are expecting to do today. This interview will allow for a deeper understanding of individuals' experiences and feelings, going beyond surface level responses, while many students highlight the potential positive impact of content marketing on consumer engagement and trust. It is essential to verify whether these effects are truly observed in a real-life context. By allowing participants to express themselves freely, this qualitative approach will help identify key factors that shape how pharmaceutical communication is received, as well as the potential ethical concerns of levers for more responsible messaging. So here we are. We are with our first interviewer. I'm gonna let her introduce herself and answering the quick questions. So please, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Natalia Alegre. I'm 26 years old and I'm a teacher of infant education in Spain, my country.
Thank you very much. So, Natalia, thank you for your time today. I'm gonna give you some questions that you will need to answer deeply, and you will have some time as well to think, okay? So my first question is, when you are prescribed or recommended a medication, what do you usually do to learn more about it?
Okay, the first thing I used to do is to check it on internet. I like to know everything about that. Is the first thing I used to do, but also, for example, I have a friend that has knowledge about medicine, and I used to ask her about the medication I have to take and everything, and she used to explain me everything I need to know.
Well, thank you. My second question will be, what kind of sources do you typically use to get information about medication, and why? Do you trust them or not?
As I said, I like to look for information in internet, and sometimes I don't trust on them because it's confusing. It used to give you some confusing information that you can believe or not, and because sometimes you can have an illness or something like that, and on internet you can see that you are going to have something worse, and no, it's not true.
Okay, so do you trust everything that you see in general?
If it's a close information, like for a friend or something close to me, yes. But if it's from internet, I try not to trust, because I know there are a lot of fake information, and it's impossible to trust in all of that.
Okay, perfect. So now, can you tell me about a time when you actively looked up information about a drug or treatment, and what did you find and how did it affect you?
For example, when I went to Indonesia last summer, I had to be vaccinated with hepatitis A, yellow fever, and I took some pills for the malaria. I called my personal doctor to know what to do and to know which vaccine I need to take in order to not affect my health. I'm not allergic to any molecule, so I just asked my doctor about it, and because he's a professional, I just trust on him, and I didn't look for more information. Finally, I didn't have symptoms, but one of my friends started with diarrhea.
Well, okay. So we just ended up the first section. So now we're gonna start the section 2, perception of pharmaceutical content. So my first question for this part would be, have you ever seen health-related content produced by a pharmaceutical company, such as an infographic, a YouTube video, a brochure at a pharmacy? Tell me.
On television, I often see commercials related to mental health, dental health, and so on, trying to convince us about the importance of taking care of ourselves. The problem is that there are so many pharmaceutical companies offering similar products, and you often don't know which one to choose.
Okay. So now the second question is, what was your impression of that content? Did it seem trustworthy, helpful, biased? Tell me why.
I think that content is good, but sometimes not clearly enough. Can be a bit confusing. I would like to find something clear and direct that explains me everything I need to know without irrelevant information.
Well, I understand. Okay, thank you. To finish with this section 2, can you tell me, in your opinion, do pharmaceutical companies aim more to educate or to persuade with these materials?
For me, they are trying to do both. I trust on them, or I want to do that because I think they are loyal in their words, but like everything, this is a competition for being the best one, so sometimes they can be more focused on catching people and making profits than helping them to recover from an illness and truly thinking about our health.
Okay. Thank you. So now the section 3, influence on trust and decision making. So, has any such content ever influenced your opinion or decision about a medication? And in what way?
Yes, I often search for information online, or as I said, I ask some friends with medical knowledge about medications. Sometimes reading about side effects or benefits influence my decision to take a medication or avoid it. For example, I once read about potential adverse effects of a drug, which made me more cautious before using it. My friend's advice also helps me understand how effective a medication might be. However, I always verify information with trust source or consult a healthcare professional. Overall, this content helps me make a more informed health decisions.
Okay, do you feel more confident about a medication after reading or watching content about it? If yes, why or why not?
Yes, I tend to feel more confident when I have more information about a medication. Learning how it works, its benefits, and possible side effects helps me understand what to expect. Watching videos or reading articles from reputable sources make me feel more prepared. However, I still trust my doctor's advice the most because they have the expertise. Sometimes too much information can be overwhelming, so I try to find a good balance. Being informed generally makes me feel more comfortable about using medications.
Perfect. Thank you for this answer. Last question for section 3. In situations where you are unsure about the treatment, what do you tend to rely on the most? Professional advice, personal research, or something else?
When I'm unsure about a treatment, I mainly rely on professional advice from my doctor or pharmacist. They have the knowledge and experience to guide me safely. I also do some personal research online or ask some friends with medical knowledge to understand better. But I always prioritize the advice of healthcare professionals because they know my health history. It's important for me to make safe and informed decisions, so I trust experts the most in these situations.
Thank you for this answer. So now we're gonna start the section 4, personal experience and credibility. Can you share a specific experience where you change your mind about a medication because of something you read, heard, or were told?
Once I was considering taking a certain painkiller, but after reading about its possible side effects online, I became hesitant. I discussed my concerns with my doctor, who explained that the medication is safe when used correctly and that serious side effects are rare. Strain. This conversation reassured me and I decided to proceed. It taught me the importance of consulting professionals and not relying solely on online information. Since then, I always seek medical advice before making decisions about medications.
Perfect. So now question 11. What makes you trust or distrust a piece of health information?
I trust health information that comes from reputable sources like official health organizations, medical professionals, or well-known medical websites. I look for evidence-based data and avoid sensationalized or unverified content. I distrust information that seems biased, overly promotional, or lacks clear reference. Personal stories can be helpful as well, but I always verify facts through trust sources. Transparency about source and credentials also increase my trust. Ultimately, I want accurate, balanced, and scientifically support information to make good health decisions.
Do things like the appearance or packaging of medicine influence your level of trust or willingness to use it?
Yes, the appearance and packaging can influence my perception of a medicine's quality and safety. Well-designed professional packaging makes me feel more confident that the product is legitimate and safe. Conversely, poorly packaged or unprofessional looking medicines can raise doubts about their authenticity. Packaging that looks clean, clear, and informative reassures me that the manufacturer cares about quality. However, I always check the label and consult healthcare providers before using any medication, regardless of its appearance.
Okay, I understand. So now we're entering into the last section, understanding pharmaceutical categories. So first, are you familiar with the differences between brand name and generic and biosimilar medications?
I have a basic understanding of this difference. Brand name medications are the original products developed by pharmaceutical companies. Generics are copies of brand name drugs that contain the same active ingredients but are usually cheaper. Biosimilars are similar to biologic medicines but are not identical. They are used for complex treatments like certain cancer or autoimmune drugs. I know that generics and biosimilars are considered equally effective in most cases, but I tend to prefer brand names for certain treatments unless my doctor has advice otherwise.
How do you perceive those differences? Do they impact your choices?
I see generics as a good, cost-effective alternative to brand name drugs, especially for common treatments. I trust that they are just as effective, but I might be more cautious with biosimilars for complex or critical conditions. My choices are influenced by factors like price, availability, and my doctor recommendations. If a generic is approved by health authorities and trust, I usually choose it to save money. For some medications, I prefer the original brand for peace of mind.
And finally, is there anything else you would like to share about your experiences with pharmaceutical communication or how you make decisions about your health treatments?
As a healthy 26-year-old, I usually rely on a combination of online information and advice from friends with medical knowledge when making decisions about my health. I find that clear, honest communication from pharmaceutical companies and healthcare providers helps me trust the medications I use. I prefer to get information from reputable sources like official health websites on my doctor. I also pay attention to how medications are explained, including side effects and benefits. Personal experience shared by others can influence my choice, but I always verify facts before making decisions. Overall, transparent and accessible communication is key for me to feel confident about my health treatments.
Well, thank you, Natalia. We are done with this interview. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for taking the time to interview me today. I truly appreciate the opportunity to share my thoughts and experience regarding medications. I believe that staying informed and understanding the different aspects of medicines, such as the types, effects, and the importance of professional guidance, is crucial for making well-informed decisions about health. I really hope my insights can be helpful for your work and contribute to a better understanding of this important topic. Wishing you the best of luck in your ongoing efforts, and I hope you continue to make a positive impact in this field. Thanks again for your time and consideration.
Thank you and have a good day.
Goodbye.